So in this video, we are going to add the finish to the Sabayan flow drill. So as we go through this one, we are going to break down the finish, which is very similar to the finish that we do for the stick Sabayan one. However, it is a little different just because we are using a knife. So there's a few little things that we will change in there to make it more appropriate for the weapon. But we'll break down the way that we add this finish, kind of the way that it would work in real life. And then in the last part of this video, we will be doing it with the flow drill. So how do we go through the regular Sabayan one with the knife flow drill, and then how it finishes with what we're about to add on. So let's get to work. All right, so the finish for Sabayan. So as we're doing this, again, just like the stick, in real life, we're much more likely to encounter somebody with a weapon like the knife versus like a stick, especially, you're not really going to run into anybody with like a samurai sword attacking you. It's just not the world we live in these days. But somebody attacking you with the knife is more common, and the more common thing is going to be, I don't have a weapon at all, right? So she's got the knife, I don't have any weapon. So again, this is something that we can absolutely do where, I'm empty-handed and she's got the knife. So, even in this scenario, she can come in and thrust, this becomes a slap to disrupt her, and then I'm going to go hammer fist back to her face, right? She's going to have to stop that the same way. Now, as we do, she brings that hand back to load it, right? I can pass this the same way. I just don't have the cutting tool, right? But I could do things like hit her in the ribs with a hammer fist, right? I can block this as I bring this through. I can even attack nerves on the inside of the arm with my knuckles, right? So there are still attacks that we can do, right? And then once we get into the control, right, it's going to be the same. So this can also be very easily done empty-handed, but because of the way we train it, we got our knife. So the way that our finish works on this, so she's going to thrust, right, 1, 2. Now, as she's coming at me with the angle 1, again, I get to choose whichever of the options that I want. If I want to do the belly cut, then I can go belly cut and then come through and get to the control. I can do the cut pass, the stop cut pass. I can do the scissor and control into my finish here. So either one, any of them, is your choice. So as we do it, I'm going to do the scissor. So she comes in, I'm going to defend. I'm going to come back with that puño strike, and then as she comes at me, I get the scissor and I get the pass. Now again, just like in the stick, most people in this scenario, once they get this cut, they want to hit us and come at us with the most comfortable and the strongest strikes that they can. And those are always going to be coming from the same side of the body. So naturally, she's going to want to get her knife out and back over to this side. The strongest strike is coming that number 5, that thrust here, right? The next option is going to be more like an angle 1. But this is going to be the most common attack. This is the one people just naturally have the most confidence in, and that's what they're going to want to try and go for, especially if you're in close, right? Her goal would be that when she comes at me that angle 1, when I go here, she's going to really hope that she can pull this knife back to her hip and then be able to come in and get, a couple of thrusts to my belly here, right? So that's really what she wants to go for. Now for me, I'm totally okay with her hand going there. So once I get my scissor, as soon as she starts to pull, I want to move with her and get this knife back behind so that now it's in a very weak position. And even here, if my hand slips off, my hand is inside. So even if she tries to come in and thrust, then she's not really able. If she tries to thrust, my arm is there to stop, which then allows me to get to this control here. So it's a wedge block is really what that's called. right? So again, as she comes at me, 1, I go 2. Now if she comes at me, I'm gonna scissor cut. She's gonna be pulling back to this side, so I wanna bring this through, and then my arm is in the crook of her arm, in between her arm and her body. So it naturally creates a nice block, a nice place for me to gain control. Even though I'm not holding on, I still can feel where her arm is and I can control. From there, I'm gonna lift that arm up, feel like I'm trying to ask a question, and then I'm gonna chop down as I spin this foot and I'm bringing her down right here in front of me. Now, once I do that with the stick, we just kind of use the back of the stick, the puño, to control the neck. But again, I got a blade here. So once I bring her down, what I want to do is bringing the arm down, my knife is going to raise up and I'm going to cut down on the neck. And then what I'm going to do is come right back up. Now, again, my knife is on the side of her neck. That's just how we practice this safely with our partners. Reality, this would be going through the neck all the way out the back. And then once I get this, I want to bring that hand over and I want to control. So now I have a good handle and I can control while the finish takes hold, right? So holding this here, again, I can throw some knees, whatever I need. So once again, she's going to thrust at me here. I come back there. Now let's say I do the belly cut this time. So I belly cut, control the knife over, feeding it behind her, and then I'm lifting this hand up, chopping down as I spin that leg back, controlling her down. This knife comes up, I'm gonna cut the neck down, and then I'm gonna thrust into the neck as I control, getting nice and tall, nice and strong. Now, a lot of times people will ask about disarming here. I don't have to disarm. If I have control of the blade here, I get this cut, I get this thrust, and I'm controlling against my forearm. I don't actually have to disarm that knife. As you can see, she's trying to move it. Even if she was trying to cut me, she really can't get anywhere. And if she does cut me, it's going to be just little nicks and scrapes. It's nothing that is very threatening. So one more time, she comes at me, I feed here. Let's say I do stop, cut past. Then I'm going to bring this all the way back behind, lift, bring her down, cut the neck, stab. Control it, get nice and tall, so I'm strong, she's not. So doing this with a partner, first variation is just going back and forth. So again, it's good practice, all of the different options. So maybe one time you do it, you do the belly cut. Maybe the next time you do the cut pass, then maybe you do the scissor next, and then maybe you finish with. But every time it's your turn, you want to try and do one of the different ones. So I already did this a bunch of times against Mrs. G. So if we were doing this as partners, then it's more of an I go, you go drill. So this time I'll feed it Mrs. G. So I feed it her. She's going to defend. She comes back with the puño hit. Now as I feed the angle 1, she gets to choose. She goes cut pass, right? She's going to bring that arm all the way back behind, lift, spin, bring me down here. She's going to bring that knife around and cut, step in and stab. She wants to get nice and tall, holding that arm as best she can, right? Now again, you don't have to grab the arm. That just adds extra stability to your control. But if you got a lot bigger of a person and you are, a lot shorter than they are, then chances are you won't be able to get that hand all the way over. So even if you're just hand on top of their shoulder, curving it around the shoulder, and then your blade is on the other side, that's going to give you good control as well. It's just if you can get to your forearm, it's even better. So she got to do it once, now it's my turn. So she comes at me, so 1, 2, I'm going to go cut pass as well, come through, get that, I'm cutting here. And again, this is kind of just that hook on that shoulder. So I cut down, I come up, and again, if I can't grab my own arm, then I just keep this hand here. I can even come back and grab the back of the neck. I can keep this on that position here, right? Any of these keep good control. I just don't want to lose this, right? I want to keep this in and gain control as much as possible. Now, I did it. Now it's her turn again. So this time she's going to go something different, right? So here, she goes belly cut, gets the control, boom, there. and there's the thrust, right? Now it's my turn, so she feeds at me. So I'm 1, 2, I'm gonna go scissor, come in, bring her down, cut the neck, stab, holding that nice and tight, okay? So again, that's kind of the basic partner drill. In the next section, we're gonna show you how we do this with the flow. So stay with us. All right, final part of the video. So now we're going to do this with the Sabayan flow drill. So the way that this one works is whoever is the defender first is going to be the one that gets the finish. So this is just allowing us to practice the entire flow drill and the finish all combined into one. So really what we're doing is the flow with the finish at the end. So these are all things that you've already trained, nothing brand new, it's just kind of a new package. So what we're doing, so let's say Mrs. G is the one attacking me first, so I get the finish first. So she's gonna come at me, we start out doing the belly cut, right? And I'm coming at her, she gets the belly cut, and now we're going cut pass, she gets cut pass, stop cut pass, stop cut pass, and then now the scissor. She gets the scissor as well, and then now is where I do the finish. So I stick to the scissor, come through, get the down cut and the thrust up, controlling as best as I can. Hold it for a second. I like to step on the feet, just added extra control, right? So now, that was my turn. This time, it's Mrs. G's turn. So we reset, we both make sure we're both ready, and then now I'm attacking her. So I attack first, she gets belly cut, I get the belly cut, she gets the cut pass, stop cut pass, and scissor, scissor, she gets the finish, belly cut, brings it back, takes me down, there's the cut, there's the finish, and we reset, and we do it all again. So the idea of this is just repetition, and building up your speed, getting to go as fast as you can. But this also helps with the finish so that you're doing it in movement. So we're going to do it one more time. And this time, no talking. We're just going to go through it. And then whoever's turn it is has to, right away, as soon as we get to the finish part, go through the motion, get to the finish as fast as they possibly can. All right? So I'll go first. Mrs. G's turn. So helps us to train reaction, helps us to train speed, helps us to be ready to use this if we ever needed to. So thanks for training. We'll see you on the next video.